Patreon Q&A 158. To everyone listening, there's going to be spoilers for all of the series I'm going to be discussing, so tread carefully. Sean H asks, do you think with the introduction of Star and Stripe, we might get an arc similar to Gojo's past, but for All Might? I would love to see what he did while in America, and of course it would end with the big fight of My Hero Verse that, quite frankly, we need to see. So unfortunately, no. I don't think we'll get an arc centered around All Might, and honestly, I don't even think we're going to get an arc that just doesn't pertain to the main storyline here. Pretty sure we're on a straight course to the end at this point, with no straying away. I'm not trying to damper anyone's mood here, but I don't think My Hero has much time left. Like, if we're lucky, it'll last like another 9 months maybe. So I don't really see anything else fantastical happening in the story other than it just wrapping up. And we especially will not get an All Might centered arc because All Might isn't really that popular of a character. And not just with Japanese fans, but it just seems like with international too. And I know that kind of sounds weird, but I think on this channel I may have put us into like this echo chamber about how great All Might is because he's my personal favorite character and I think he's one of the best manga characters ever. But I don't think the majority of the fandom agrees with that. So I think at the most, we'll get like a couple pages maybe of us seeing like when All Might was the master of Star and Stripe. I mean, I hope we get like a full chapter. That would be cool, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Now, as for the connection between Star and Stripe and All Might, well, I mean, it obviously hasn't been made clear yet, and I'm sure it will eventually, but all we can really go off of now is Star and Stripe calling All Might master, and Star and Stripe, of course, being the #1 hero in America, and we know that All Might lived in America for a little bit. We don't know exactly how long because the timelines are never really explicitly made clear in this series. So it's like sometime after he was 18 and All For One killed Nana, he went to America and did a whole bunch of stuff there. You know, he had some time with David Shield and then he eventually came back to Japan. Now, is it possible that during his stay in America that he met Star and Stripe and trained her? Sure, I mean, I guess that's what they're gonna go with, but that also plays into like the ages here because All Might is like, I don't know, in his 50s or something. That's also never been made clear. So I guess he was in America like around 30-ish years ago, maybe 25, something like that. So that also goes into how old is Star and Stripe, and there's no way to know that either, especially just going off of aesthetics because she just looks of ambiguous age. She could be 19 or 45. So depending on that, I guess it's also possible that he went to America multiple times, or maybe Star and Stripe visited Japan at some point and trained with him there. Not saying that's the case, I'm just, you know, putting out some possibilities, just depending on the ages. L asks, animes you're looking forward to this fall, excluding the obvious one. I'm not sure what you mean by the obvious one, but surprisingly this year I have a lot to look forward to because previously I wasn't really too hyped on the fall releases. But we've got Demon Slayer Season 2, which I'm really looking forward to. We've got JoJo Part 6. We've got Attack on Titan, although I think that might be January. And then we have Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 0. So a lot of good stuff coming in the next couple of months, and probably be covering all of it on the channel. You know, pending if I'm, you know, absolutely able to, of course. I don't want to make any promises, but I plan on it. Samurai asks, thoughts on USJ Nomu versus Chimera from the My Hero movie? So Chimera is obviously super powerful. He has like one of the best quirks probably, but still, even at that point, I don't think he has much of a chance of taking down the USJ Nomu because Chimera was ultimately defeated by the students, and the USJ Nomu could have just easily slaughtered all of them with like one strike. And I know there's obviously a power discrepancy and experience between the students that face Chimera and the students that face the USJ Nomu, but I don't think they've improved that much to where it's gonna be any different. Like when the USJ Nomu was moving at supposedly top speed or something, something, it looked like time had stopped from the perspective of the students. And also, you know, just one strike was as powerful as nearly anything that Chimera could do. So, in my opinion at least, the USJ Nomu would probably defeat Chimera if they were to one-on-one fight. Natedawg asks, will we see All Might fight again? Maybe for the last battle, he'll wear a suit that makes him superhuman. I think everyone would love to see him fight one more time. Call him Iron Might. So I don't think we'll see him fight again. I think at the most, maybe he'll go into his muscular form for like a second to be able to land one punch maybe, but that's about it. And you say, I think everyone would love to see him fight one more time. Well, I don't think that's the case, and it goes back to what I talked about in the beginning of the video. Not everyone really cares about All Might the way that we do. And I'm starting to think that when All Might inevitably dies, I don't think it's really going to affect the majority of the audience the way that we thought it would. Crazy Iguana asks, have you seen Squid Game yet? The main character is voiced by Greg Chun, Garo's voice actor. Hey, that's cool. I do like Greg's performance as Garo. Yep, I appreciate anime dubs, guys, get over it. But I haven't seen Squid Game, and I probably won't. I'd be more inclined to check it out if it was just a movie, but it's like 10-hour-long episodes. That's so much of a commitment and so much time. Like, how does everybody like instantly watch this as soon as it gets popular? Like, is everyone just staying up all night and watching this so that they'll have an opinion on it? But it seems like the hype has died down for it anyway, and we're all just gonna move on to the next popular topical thing in a couple hours anyway, so you know. Little Ferrari asks, since we got some of Bang's backstory in chapter 150, do you think he could have become a monster like Garo? So I guess it's possible that he could have, but I didn't really get that impression from him. Garo is more so becoming a monster because he's so obsessed with his goal. And I guess him being a fan of the idea of a monster, or at least to him, is probably helping with that metamorphosis, but it didn't seem like Bang had nearly as much of a conviction as Garo did. But all people becoming monsters in One Punch Man obviously isn't created equal. So, like I said, it is possible, but I just don't think as likely as Garo's transformation was. Nico L asks, say you're teleported into the One Punch Man verse, which of the martial art styles are you choosing to train? So I guess the water stream, there's not really like an MMA style, or at least I don't think there is in One Punch Man. And considering that the water stream seems to be the best style, I guess I would go with that. I mean, granted, we have only seen like ultra masters like Bang and Garo make it look good, but it does seem pretty cool. Although in like real life, I'm not really too much into like the traditional martial arts stuff. I'm more of like an MMA guy. Extinction Team 75 asks, looking at the other more unknown heroes of One Punch Man, I learned that Lily is only 15 and in B class. Do you think in the future she could potentially reach A class, considering she is stronger than other older heroes in their prime? I've always been confused with the Blizzard group because they're all like essentially C class heroes, but somehow in the top of the B class. Maybe that has something to do with the politics and whatever pull Fubuki has. And I'm sure they're strong to some extent, but I've just never really been impressed by them. But yeah, I guess Lily could become A class in the future. I mean, she is only 15. I don't see why not. Zapphod B asks, do you think that Bang was going to use his explosion release fist and awakening breath when he was preparing to face Elder Centipede? So he for sure was using awakening breath, but I don't think he was using explosion release fist, because we see the stance that he takes before he's about to take on Elder Centipede, and it's not the explosion release fist stance. I guess since Bang knew that he was going to die, he didn't want his last moments to be using that style. Maybe he just wanted to go out using the water stream. That's pretty much it for the video today, guys. I want to thank all of my patrons. Guys, thank you so much for continuing to support me despite my lackluster efforts lately. And if you would like to be in next week's Q&A, simply check out the Patreon. The link is in the description. And if you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next one.